Hi guys, Graham Norris here from Better Choice and Future Financial. Just wanted to go through today and let you know how we calculate income or what we look for on BAS statements. So that'll give you an idea if you've got a loan application you're looking to do with a low doc and using BAS. I'll go through exactly what is required and what we look for in that regard. I've got a couple of examples that I'll run through so you get a clear indication of what we look for and how you can calculate it with those type of things. Before I get started, I just want to give a big thanks to everyone that's touched base with me over LinkedIn, either giving me a call or shot me an email. Really appreciate it. So if you're finding value out of these videos, please share them with others. As I said in the past, if I can't help you, happy to point you in the right direction to see whether you can get it set somewhere else. So thanks again. So today I just want to go through BAS. So we do a lot of low docs. We do a lot of low docs with BAS. And I just want to run through how we look at the BAS and calculate the income based on what's been declared by the client. So I'll just bring up the first one. So here we go here. So you'll notice here, this is the first BAS. So all the details have been taken out. So that's fine. So this is the tax agent portal, which is what we require. So we know the BAS has been lodged. And you'll notice this one's up to the 30th September 2016. So that for that quarter. What we look at the G1, so the total sales under G1, and in this circumstance, it's actually 642,550 as the total sales there. And then what we look at is the non-capital purchases, which is G11. And with this example, it's $290,569. So what we do, and I'll just grab my calculator here, so 642,550 minus your 290,569. So that's going to give you 351,981 for that quarter. Okay, so we're looking at September 2016. So just keep that one in mind, 351,981. Now I'll just pull up the next one, which is the December quarter. And you'll notice in the December quarter, so here we are, December 2016. So the G1 total sales for that quarter was 244,532. And then your non-capital purchases, being your G11, was 136,542. Okay, so if we calculate that again, so we've got 244,532 minus your 136,542. And that's going to give you 107,990. Then we add that to the previous figure, which was 351,981, which is going to give you 459,971 for the 6 months. So September quarter, December quarter. So that's the figure there for the 6 months. Then we multiply that by 2 to annualize it, which is 991,942. So from an income point of view, if you have your borrower declaring an income of 300,000 or 400,000, we know based on the BAS, we've calculated potentially that their income would be around 900,000. So you can have comfort in knowing that that declared income is enough to service a debt based on what you're looking at. And obviously, if you need more income, depending on what they've declared from a servicing point of view. So that's one example to give you an idea what we look for. Now, the next one is more similar in sales. So here we go here. So same thing again. So this is a September quarter. We look at G1 total sales, which is 82,100, and then their non-capital purchases under G11, not a lot. So obviously they're pretty profitable business, you would say. And so we take the 82,100 minus your 7,169, which is going to give you 74,931. So that's for that quarter to the end of September. Now I'll bring up the next one, which is going to give us pretty similar. So 81,100 in your G1, so your total sales, and then your G11, your non-capital purchases, is showing 6,060. So your 81,100 minus your 6,060 is going to give you $75,040 plus the previous figure, which was 74,931, which is giving you 149,971. Multiply that by 2 to annualize it. So that's giving you a 299,942. So if your client borrower is actually declaring an income of 250,000, you can be quite comfortable knowing that based on those figures, based on the BAS, that is a reasonable declared income. Simple as that. So that's that BAS. Now, let me bring up another one just to give you an idea if the actual gross sales and your non-capital expenditure is, getting close to each other. So in this circumstance here, this is December. I've just pulled one of these, so just to give you an idea. So that's the end of December quarter. So your G1 here is 106,558, and then your non-capital purchases under G11 is 95,298. So they've had a lot of non-capital purchases during that quarter. And that could relate to, buying extra stock for the upcoming year, whatever it may be. So in this particular circumstance, if we take the 106,558 minus your 95,298 is going to give you $11,260 for that quarter. Now for this example, if I multiply that by 4, it's going to give you $45,040. And they may be looking at trying to borrow 800,000-900,000. You're going to go, Graham, from the examples prior, 45,000 is not going to cut it. It's not going to be enough to potentially be enough income to service the debt. However, we can get, if we can clarify what's in that non-capital purchase from the accountant by the way of a letter, it could be stock, it could be whatever, so they're not buying stock all the time, so we can add that back in. Or if we take a look at the W1, so W1 is total salaries. So for that quarter, we had total salaries for 45,056. So in some circumstances, depending on the business, this income here, this salary here, could be paid or being paid to the directors of the company. And if that's the case, you just need to verify that either with the borrower or with the accountant and obtain a letter from the accountant explaining that, yes, 40,000 of it, 20,000 of it, whatever amount is actually paid to the directors through the BAS each quarter. Then you can annualize that figure, and then you can use that from a servicing point of view depending on what the borrower has declared and see if that matches. So that's all there is to it. We don't take a percentage. So you might, talk about banks might look at it and go, I take 40%, 50%. We don't do that. So we sort of look at the industry, look at what they're doing, whether they're home-based or whether they're a transport company, whatever the case may be. We look at it different options in different industries. So we take on case by case. So that's what we look for. So I just want to say thanks again. Please feel free to hook me up here on LinkedIn. As I said before, give me a call, shoot me an email, and if I can help in any way, happy to do so. If we can't assist, I might be able to put you in the right direction. And also feel free to share with this to anyone in your group or might get some value. I do appreciate your time. Thanks again. Have a sensational day, and bye for now.